This week for episode 7 of the greatest ever Victorians, we head over to the quiet cloisters of Victorian Oxford, where stone passages echoed with the footsteps of scholars, and there lived a man whose imagination slipped far beyond the boundaries of his age. His name was Charles Ludwig Dodgson, but the world would come to know him as Lewis Carroll.
Welcome to Literally Victorian with your host, Matthew Lee Hanson.
Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Matthew and I'm glad to be with you once again. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. A mathematician by training and a storyteller by instinct, Carroll lived a life poised delicately between precision and fantasy. He belonged to a century of structure, rules and propriety, yet he dreamed in riddles, paradoxes and impossible worlds. Carroll was born in 1832 into a large book-loving family. From a young age he displayed a keen intellect, particularly in mathematics and logic. This eventually carried him to Christ Church in Oxford, where he lectured, tutored and lived for most of his adult life. But behind the formalities of academic life, Carroll harboured a playful creativity. He wrote poems, crafted elaborate word puzzles, and kept notebooks filled with strange creatures, whimsical rhymes, and logical curiosities. Oxford life shaped him. The rituals, the river, the gardens, the quiet afternoons spent reading, but it also confined him. His imagination needed something more. That something more arrived in the form of 3 sisters, Lorena, Edith and Alice Liddell, the daughters of the Christ Church dean. Carroll spent many summer days accompanying the children and their family on boating trips along the Thames. It was on one such afternoon, as their oars dipped rhythmically into the river, that Carroll began spinning a tale to entertain the girls. A tale of a curious child who followed a white rabbit down a hole and found herself in a world of marvels. Alice Liddell begged him to write it down, and so he did. In 1865, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland was published, a book unlike anything Victorian readers had ever seen. It was whimsical, chaotic, humorous and strangely profound. A world where logic twisted back on itself, where language danced, and where the boundaries between childhood and adulthood blurred. The book was an instant success. Carroll followed Alice with Through the Looking Glass, a more reflective, even melancholic mirror world. Here time ran backwards, chess pieces came to life, and nonsense verse reached its poetic peak. But while he is remembered as a children's author, Carroll's talents were enormously varied. He was a dedicated mathematician, publishing works on algebra, geometry and symbolic logic. A pioneer in early photography, crafting delicate portraits that captured the gentleness of Victorian domestic life. A lexical inventor, coining words that entered the language, chortle, galumph, even the concept of portmanteau words. And above all, a thinker fascinated by the slipperiness of meaning, how language could both illuminate and deceive. Carroll's work defied the strictness of Victorian intellectual life, opening portals to realms governed by imagination rather than rules. Despite his fame, Carroll was intensely private. He guarded his personal life carefully, maintaining meticulous diaries, many of which have gone missing or were destroyed. This has left historians with unanswered questions, shadows between the lines of his otherwise orderly world. But what is certain is that Dodgson was a man of paradoxes, shy yet deeply social, logical yet whimsical, a man bound to the rhythms of Oxford, yet forever wandering in dreamscapes of his own making. Lewis Carroll died in 1898. But his creations have never left us. Alice remains a cultural touchstone, a story for children, for adults, for anyone who has ever questioned the rules of the world around them. His playful language, his riddles without answers, and his fascination with the absurd continue to inspire writers, filmmakers, mathematicians, and philosophers. Carroll offered Victorian Britain a society defined by order and decorum, a glimpse into something wilder, a place where imagination reigned, where logic bent, and where the ordinary became extraordinary. In the end, Lewis Carroll lived two lives, one in the lecture halls of Oxford and one in Wonderland. And perhaps it is in the space between those two worlds that his genius truly resides. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to help my little channel grow and to make sure to hit the notification bell. So until next time, bye for now.